Sophia's parents are Brandon Davis and Tracy Patton. She's been cheering for 12 years. Her future plans include going to Westchester University and majoring in psychology. The most memorable moment in her career was creating a bond with each and every girl on the team that she'll hold for a lifetime. One more big hand for Sophia Davis. Our next senior cheerleader, big round of applause for Carly Frank. Carly is being escorted by Anne Steph France and has been cheering for 13 years. Her future plans include attending Penn State University to major in biomedical engineering. The most memorable moment for her was going to camp her sophomore year and having the opportunity to bond and make new memories with her best friends and teammates. One more big round of applause for Carly Frank. Our final senior cheerleader tonight. Give it up for Gabby Taylor. Gabby's parents are Beth Taylor and Orlando Taylor, and she has been cheering since 3rd grade. Her future plans include attending Westchester University this upcoming fall for speech language pathology. The most memorable moment in her playing career was her first high school game where she got run over by a football player. Give it up for Gabby Taylor. And now for our senior boys basketball players. Our first senior tonight, big round of applause for Joey Nasser. Joey's parents are Jimmy Frank, and he's been playing for 7 years. His future plans include getting a bachelor's degree in marketing. The most memorable moment in his playing career was getting hyped with his teammates after every win. Let's hear it for Joey Nasser. Our next senior, big round of applause for Jordan Butler. Jordan's parents are Sherry Butler and grandmother Juanita Brooks. He's been playing since 3rd grade. His future plans include joining the workforce. His most memorable moment is breaking Ed's ankle 3 different times at practice. Congratulations on that one, Jordan, and let's hear it for Jordan Butler one more time. Our next senior tonight, give it up for Griffin Hummel. Griffin's parents are Erica and Paul Hummel. He's been playing for 12 years. His future plans include going to college and possibly pursuing a teaching degree for physical education. The most memorable moment in his career was when they went rafting and lost Dave's hat. Let's hear it for Griffin Hummel. Our next senior tonight, give it up for Colin Eisenhorn. Colin's parents are Ava Stein and Matthew Eisenhorn. He's been playing basketball for 8 years. He plans to attend a 4-year university, and his most memorable moment was when they won against Penncrest on a buzzer beater. Let's hear it for Colin Eisenhorn. Our next senior, give it up for Big round of applause for Eddie Big Shot Higgins. Eddie's being escorted by 15 seniors. He's been playing basketball for 6 years. His future plans include going to college and majoring in business. And his most memorable moment in his playing career were the early morning salvation runs. How about one more big round of applause for Eddie Higgins. One more time, let's hear it for all of our senior athletes here.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. For the last time this year, unless we host a playoff game here at Boyertown, we are here for senior night as the boys are taking on the Eagles of Norristown. Not only is a battle of PAC conference teams, but a battle of the Palladino athletic directors as well. I am here with your play-by-play, as always. I'm Jim Towers, along with the greatest color man in the universe / Milky Way / whatever you want to call it, the Reverend John T. Kaleda.
I can't believe it only took me one season of this to move up the ranks from Eastern Pennsylvania all the way up to the Milky Way. Congrats to me.
Well, Mark Zumoff retired, so that kind of makes it a lot easier to move up those ranks. John, we are here tonight hosting Norristown, and can you give us, first of all, a recap? Did we play at Norristown this year?
We did.
Tell us about that game, John.
Well, the only thing that really is going to stick out in people's minds is the video that I got to see on Twitter that night, which was not a video that the Boyertown faithful wanted to see, and that was one of the many, many last-second shots that have beaten the Bears this year. They've just had such a roller coaster season with those late game situations where they have had a couple of wins, and we're going to, I'm sure, talk about the big shot that Eddie Higgins had against Pencrest a couple of weeks ago for obvious reasons tonight, which we'll get into. But the Norristown game last time came during a stretch when the Bears lost. I think it was 3 out of 4, but the margin of those losses, I think it was 3-1 and then 3 to Norristown. They were tied up. They were looking to go into overtime, and then a wing jumper as time expired won the game for Norristown. So it was a low-scoring affair. I would expect Norristown to do what they usually do, which is play solid pressure defense in the half-court set. Maybe they pull out some sort of a full-court trap at some point. But Norristown's always difficult to play because of their intensity, because of their aggression, and their athletic ability, which is sure to be on display tonight. And the Bears have to do a good job countering that, and I'm sure they will with their 2-3 zone, which has been really their bread and butter this whole season.
John, it should certainly lead to be an entertaining game. If anything we can say, as the season has gone on, the games have become much more entertaining. And part of that has been Boyertown's ability to kind of mix it up. Very rarely, even the last game when we were here, they lost. I forget the score. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. I'm not going to remember a basketball score from 2 days ago. But I remember at the end of that game, we commented that the scoreboard does not indicate how close the game was. And that seems to be another thing that is a trend for Boyertown, as I watched Jake Tapp hit 4 3-pointers in a row from the corner in warm-ups. This stability that they've been able to have to come out and play strong and for the most part be in a lot of games, that's going to help them not only tonight but in the future. Sure, and the big reason why they're in games in the second half, third quarter, into the fourth quarter is their defense. Their 2-3 defense. They have a perfect group for the 2-3 zone that Coach Miller has employed. They're a bit rangy up top. They have that long athletic frame up top of Richard Black, Roman Marinello, who can be a gnat at times up there and just pesky to the other dribblers. But maybe the biggest part of that 2-3 zone is Eddie Higgins in the middle, who has been, I think I've used this word for him before, but he has been a revelation this season, coming in with kind of mixed expectations, being hurt the last couple of seasons, and has come in and just been a dominant force down low on the offensive and defensive end, and having him in the middle of that zone to plug things up and to make sure that he cleans up any missed shot has been a big helper for this Boyertown defense this season. It's just a matter of, can the offense get going, and that's where Boyertown has been inconsistent this year. Sometimes they look absolutely unstoppable, and sometimes, it does take them a while to figure out what offensive set is going to work for them or who is going to be the scorer that night. So we'll see if they can figure it out, hopefully earlier rather than later tonight, because I'm sure Norristown is going to come out aggressive and firing on all cylinders like they usually do. Tonight, looking at the starting lineups, Norristown's putting out Zakai Gomez, DJ Johnson, Rayshawn Stinson, John Dinolfi. Is that correct? John
You got
Dinolfi?
it. Yep.
And tonight, John, we are definitely going to be saying this name. I just went back in my handy-dandy Avengers notebook a few games ago when the girls played Upper Marion. We didn't get a chance to say our favorite last name of the season, which was Onwubuariri.
And that's a last name only.
That's a last
right.
Yes. Tonight, we have our favorite first name of the season, rounding out the starting five for Norristown, Righteous Mitchell.
Awesome. It's just awesome. Can't beat it.
I would imagine with a name like that, he is well on his way. I've never seen him play before, but he's got to be well on his way to a professional career in something.
It's something, right?
A name like Righteous Miller, he'll be there. We'll be back after National Anthem and starting lineups right here on the NFHS Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boyertown for tonight's pack contest featuring the visiting Norristown Eagles and your Boyertown Bears. And now, everyone, please rise. Remove your hats and stand as one nation as we salute the United States of America and the troops who defend our freedom with the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, for starting lineups, first for visiting Norristown. Uppermost senior, number 1, Kai Gomez. Senior, number 10, DJ Johnson. Senior, number 11, Righteous Mitchell. Senior, number 21, Ray Sean Simpson. And senior, number 24, John Dinolfi. Norristown is coached by Peyton Johnson, assisted by Earl Watson, Julius Mack, Jimmy Saratoga, Joey Johnson, and Lewis Simmons. And now, for your Boyertown Bears. Up first, the senior, number 13, Roman Mario. Junior number 10, Sam Whoa. Junior number 33, Richard Black. Number 23, Jake Cat. And number 1, Jordan Butler. Finally, number 31, Colin Eisenhart. And number 42, Eddie Gibbs. There's a close by Travis Miller, assisted by Mike Harris,
Oh, here we are ready for tip. It's going to be Eddie Higgins going up against, I think that's Rayshawn Stinson.
Looks like Stinson.
Yes, Rayshawn Stinson. Starting lineups for Boyertown. John, let me take care of this for the air tonight. It's Cap, Higgins, Marinello, Eisenhard, and Butler. See how I did that?
Yeah, I got it. I tell you, I swear that when I go down there, it is now the ongoing joke to write in the starters and then as I leave, just erase it and change it, just to see me squirm up here. But what are you going to do?
Nothing wrong with that. As we look out, we have quite a nice student section here tonight for senior night. Good to see the Bear Den getting full. Ready for hibernation as the Bears kick into their 2-3 zone. Great pass inside to Stinson. Good defense from Cap, and that layup doesn't make it. John, we talk about size frequently. It looks like Eddie Higgins going to have himself his hands full against Stinson tonight.
Yeah, sure. Norristown is always going to be able to find, basketball players that are athletic, that are big. So I'm not surprised that Eddie Higgins has somebody to really bang around with tonight. But Eddie, in any situation that he's been in this year, whether it's been a guy his size or not, he's risen to the occasion. So I'm sure you'll see that tonight.
Drive by DJ Johnson. Looks like he got off his feet and wasn't sure whether he wanted to shoot that or pass it. Ends up with a jump ball. And Boyertown will get possession back just about a minute into this game. Still scoreless. Norristown in a man-to-man zone. Man-to-man zone. How about that for a defense?
Oh, God. Thank God it's the last game. Look at us tonight.
Man-to-man defense. Jake Cap's foul line jump shot is good. That's refreshing to see Jake Cap early with 2 points, first on the board.
You're right about that. With Jake, it's sometimes been a struggle to get him going in games. He eventually does. I'm sure he's averaging around 13 or 14 points a game this year. But it's good to see him get going early, especially in a game where the Bears really have a good shot to win this, seeing as they played so well last time. Sure, they want to have a good start.
Cap on both ends of the court. That time he ended up with the rebound to go the other way. Missed layup there from Eisenhard. But there is John Dinolfi able to get his own rebound, put it up. We're tied at 2. Zagai Gomez on Cap coming up the court. Cap able to get up inside. That's no good. Norristown coming the other way.
It's a nice job by Jake kind of accepting that bump there from the big guy down low. I believe it wasn't Stinson, that was Dinolfi. He just kind of accepted it and then just kind of bounced off and he floated it up there. It didn't go in, but it was a nice shot by Jake.
Great hands by Jordan Butler at the top of that 2-3 zone, gets the turnover. And we'll see what Boyertown can do on the other end. Zach Ward is getting off the bench. Would be nice to see Higgins get an early start here. Top of the key three-pointer for Cap. Rims in and out. And here comes Zach Ward in for Butler.
I'll tell you what, Higgins has to be careful here tonight. Really hasn't gotten in foul trouble much this year. Right down there, probably let one go there, the official did. I mean, if he's boxed out tonight, and like we said, Norristown has some guys who can probably box out Eddie Higgins for, just the second time all year, first time being when they played Norristown before. So he can't make decisions like that where he's just trying to bat the ball away. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Keep yourself in the game.
Dinolfi and Stinson certainly are 2 big guys down there. They got some size in the upper body. Should make it difficult for Higgins. Long 3-point try. That time from Righteous Mitchell is no good. Great drive from him. Was that an offensive foul, John?
You better believe
that
it was an offensive foul.
Starting early in the first quarter. Like to see it.
Fitting that Eddie, who we haven't seen an offensive foul from in a couple of games, he's back on track. Yeah,
it has been a while. Righteous Mitchell on Zach Ward. I really do like that name.
It's a good one. You're right. You get named Righteous. You're destined for greatness. Seriously.
And here I'm just, Max.
Max is destined for greatness too. Stop, Jim.
right inside. Another three-point try from Cap. That's going to be left. Saw that right away from this angle. Wasn't quite on target. Looks like Norristown is really, John, it's great defense there from Marinello. We'll talk about Norristown's offense next time down the court. Nice shot fake as well. And Marinello nails it.
Great
Big
job.
Three-point try.
Great job by Roman there. Little shot fake. Took that dribble to create that space. You teach that in practice. It's nice when you see it in the game.
A little bit of over pursuit here from Boyertown. That's against a team like Norristown. They got to be careful with that in this zone. Looks like they may call that one on the floor, and they did. DJ Johnson gets fouled on his drive attempt. They'll have the ball into the basket. John, isn't that something that I'm accurate on when you're playing a 2-3 zone against a team as athletic as Norristown? You want to be careful with that over pursuit. You don't want to get caught.
You know, certainly you want to make sure that this team that you're playing against, whatever team, can shoot from the outside. I guess if you were to say this is, you know, on the most basic level, you play a zone to make sure that a team doesn't beat you inside. You make them beat you from the outside. So, sure, I'm sure they were over pursuing there a bit because of being excited that Roman made that three-pointer. But yeah, you're right. Make Norristown prove they can make some outside jumpers. Let Eddie plug up that middle, and make sure that you make Norristown drive into the lane where you have that help with your big guys underneath.
There's great defense from Higgins. Doesn't draw the offensive foul, but when you're his size, you stand there with your arms straight up in the air, you're going to cause some problems. And there's a patented foul line jump shot is no good, but Higgins strong on the rebounds. Not on the score line yet is Eddie Higgins until now. Look at Higgins looking like Joel Embiid, big guy shooting a jump shot from distance.
We haven't seen that too much out of Eddie. Good for him, but he's
seen it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that he's pulling it out of his bag of tricks right now. But very, very nice shot from him. The Bears we talked about consistency offensively. They have it so far.
Nice defense there from Johnson against Marinello. Lots of pressure on this man-to-man, and Marinello gets stuck. Eisenhorn unable to get out of that trap in the corner. And here comes Norristown with their three attempt to tie the game. It's no good. Starting to get a little frenetic with our pace here, John.
Yeah, you don't see that too much out of Boyertown. They like to slow things down, but probably the pace would benefit Norristown here. Boyertown really needs to make sure they're taking time in the offensive end, and the frenetic pace would allow plays like that to happen. So I'm sure Coach Miller at some point is going to say, hey, slow it down, play our pace.
There's the speed we talked about. You take 1 second to rest in that zone when you're trying to set up, and Norristown's going to take advantage of it. More ball moving from Boyertown, and here's Eddie Higgins where we usually see him. But again, he's not going to see many players playing defense against him as big as Stinson. That guy's a house. And he's probably got 2 inches on Higgins, it looks like. Here's Ward from the outside. Nails it. Zach Ward, second three-pointer of the game for Boyertown, and they jump up 4.
Zach Ward still gutting out that foot injury he had last week. You're going to see him kind of hobbling around, and he's just doing a phenomenal job, showing what a tough kid he is. Nice shot by him. We had a couple of screens set for him, and if they can keep on getting shots off of ball screens, should be a good night for Boyertown if they can keep getting those shots.
Norristown again really showing pressure man-to-man. Not seeing many teams play this much in your face. And it's certainly affecting some of these jump shots that are normally a lot easier for Boyertown.
I feel like when I was playing way back in 2001, 2002, I feel like there were many more teams who would show pressure. I wonder why it's kind of gone away. But you're right. Teams don't play defense like Norristown does anymore.
That's a microcosm. We talked about microcosms on Tuesday. That's a microcosm this season for Jake Cap.
It really is.
That ball was halfway through the rim, and it popped out.
I witnessed him make 10 3-pointers in a JV game 2 years ago. 10. The kid can flat out shoot, and this year it's just been a struggle. from beyond the arc. But like we've said a bunch of times this year, he's kind of reinvented himself as somebody who can come off the screens and make little 12-foot jump shots and get to the rim. So still one of their best scoring options, and you got to keep shooting.
Great defense from Boyertown. But Zakai Gomez ends the quarter with a big three-pointer to cut the lead to 1. John, that was a lightning-fast first quarter of basketball.
Yeah, did we even have a stoppage at all? Like, I mean, did the ball even go out of bounds? You're right. That just went by in the blink of an eye. We do have a 1-point lead here for the Boyertown Bears, but I mean that with the team that plays with the pace that Norristown does, that's the kind of lean that can disappear quicker than that quarter went, Jim. I mean, blink of an eye here. So Boyertown definitely needs to talk right now about pace and what they're going to do when they get that defensive rebound, what they're going to do when they get a steal. If they have numbers, go ahead and take it, but they should not be forcing anything if they don't have the numbers on a fast break.
And that corner went away quicker or as quickly as the Big Shot Burgers maybe get put down at halftime by the fans and the special guests that we have here this evening, John.
And actually, as we mentioned that, I believe we have our special guest walking in the door right now. This is the first time you guys met. Jimmy, this is my partner, Jim Towers. Right now in the booth, ladies and gentlemen, we have the head chef at Izzy's on 3rd restaurant, really a landmark restaurant in Boyertown, has been for years. Jimmy Benson is here on Eddie Big Shot Burger Night, Eddie Higgins Big Shot Burger Night. We have Jimmy here along with a bunch of these burgers. If you listen to our broadcasts, you have heard about what these burgers entail. It is a massive burger, but a pretty neat story about what is in it. And we have Jimmy here tonight to do a little show with us at halftime, raffle off some burgers, some Izzy's gear, and we're just really happy and honored to have him here representing Izzy's, who is doing a lot for our community, doing a lot for the kids here tonight. So we're happy to have you. And we don't have an extra microphone, so you and I got to share. Sorry, Jimmy, but we're happy to have you.
No problem at all. Thank you guys for having me tonight.
So, John, we got to hear about the burger. I want to hear it from the man himself. We've been talking about it for a week now. Tell us about this burger, Jimmy.
All right, so it's built to scale for Big Ed. It's about 6.4 inches tall, a little over 200 pounds, or 2 pounds like Eddie, and more over 200. I was here the night he hit that shot, and just the way that the gym went crazy, I knew I had to do something. We're always doing different burgers every week, and it was perfect for Eddie and for us. So it was good. It was cool to build the burger with him and fire it off and see people try to eat it.
Jimmy, we had some discussion up here. We've had, I don't know how much you listen to us, but food is probably the main thing we talk about other than basketball. There's something about an egg on a burger, isn't there?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, the egg was something that it goes well on every burger, and we do a lot of starting to do some breakfast sandwich stuff, so we always have eggs around for everything, and just kind of threw it on there, like, oh, yeah, what can we put on this thing to make it massive? And it's a really good burger. It's hard to eat, and I've had a few people finish them, so I know it's possible.
Well, John, we should be having a few people finish them here tonight, if I'm not mistaken, who we're going to have here. Are you aware of some of that information for
Well,
us?
we have it didn't work out. Dr. Foley got called away to a meeting tonight, so we have Bash assistant principal Andrew Maori, who is part of a team of eaters that holds a record at the Hamburg Burger Eating Festival. They hold the amateur record for number of burgers eaten in like a 9-minute period or something like that. We have him facing off against the challenger, Jerry Capp, former football standout Jerry Capp, sitting in the corner of the gym right down there, sitting down, black shirt, white shoes. And he's pretty excited to test his eating talents out on a real champion here. So we have that, plus the opportunity for our winners of the raffle, who we have to announce, who get a chance to come down just to try the burger and take part in the competition if they want to. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
This is something that I have been looking forward to for quite some time. I cannot wait. have had burger. I've never had a burger with mac and cheese wedges on it. I have had burgers with egg, obviously all the other pieces, the bacon and the cheese and everything. I am really looking forward to the pork roll on this burger. Is there any thought that went into that, or was it just let's throw something else on?
It was, like I said, when me and Eddie work together, he likes to do a lot of breakfast sandwich stuff, so I know he likes pork roll, I know he likes bacon. With his number being 42, we did 4 slices of bacon, 2 slices of pork roll.
Perfect.
We got 4 slices of cheddar, 2 slices of American. So we just tried to incorporate the number into it.
This is awesome. And here I thought we just decided let's go through the kitchen at Izzy's and put whatever we can on this burger, but there's actually a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, we got a nice little board. Whenever I tell everybody that works in the kitchen with me, you got an idea, write it down, we'll try it out, and if the consensus agrees, we'll throw it out there. We're always trying new stuff, new menu.
That is awesome. So we are 5 minutes and 56 seconds away from the excitement that we are going to have here at halftime. You got to go get your burgers?
I am going to go check on them, and then shortly here, I got my sister Jessica checking on that now.
Awesome.
Make sure they're in or out. Wanted to keep them as nice and warm as possible for everybody.
Perfect. Well, Jimmy, we cannot wait as Jerry Cap scores the first basket of the quarter for Boyertown. We will see you at halftime. Thank you for joining us up here. We are very, very excited. Thanks, Jimmy, and everybody. Get your opportunity. Get down to Izzy's on 3rd. Great local establishment. They'll start to know your name as well, as Norristown is continuing a big quarter on the back of DJ Johnson. That is his 8th point of the quarter. Make it 10.
Wow.
And right away, Boyertown's 1-point lead at the end of the corner has evaporated. And Norristown leads by 9. Again, on the shoulders of DJ Johnson. 2 3-pointers, 2 foul shots, and a field goal.
If you've got a ticket to try any Gift Shop burger at halftime, check your tickets now. The winning numbers to get a chance to try the burger are as follows. On the green ticket for students, 8975. 8975, green ticket for students. On the pink ticket for other spectators, the winning number 6260. Once again, pink ticket 6260. If you're a winner at halftime, report to half court by Mr. Palladino, the athletic director, for your Eddie Higgins Gift Shop burger.
As John finishes up his announcement and the Bears and Eagles come out of their timeouts. Very exciting meeting Jimmy there and hearing so much about that burger.
Oh, the reason why things went into this burger is when he told me that when I first met him and talked about this, I said, I think I said basically you are a genius, and then rattled off a whole other bunch of synonyms for genius, which is how I was feeling at the moment. But real neat story how the burger was created and what's on the burger, and I hope that he talks about this at halftime, down on half court when we're talking. But his plan is to make a bunch of different burgers for other athletes and for other athletic achievements that Boyertown athletes here have had in the past couple of years. He's hoping to get in touch with some of our very successful wrestlers and create something for them. He's hoping to get some of the teams who have won state championships in the past couple of years, girls soccer, girls basketball, baseball. He's hoping to do something for them. So it's just real exciting to have a person, to have a restaurant, to have a community that kind of rallies around each other, and very happy that we can, I guess, kind of call Izzy's a sponsor here a little bit for us. We've been looking for one the past couple of years, so excited that it can be Izzy's.
Yeah, John, we have been, not necessarily, we always joke about different places, and, last week it was Tuesday night, it was someone who was diving on the hardwood like they worked at A.D. Moyer. So we're always looking for places, but it's fun that we can give Izzy shout-outs. They're great to the community, but Izzy really doesn't fit with any of those, does it? Those little taglines that we normally
Yeah, how are we gonna work that in? Yeah,
that's a tough one. So we'll see if we can get creative in the next half of basketball plus 4 minutes and 39 seconds. See if we can work that in there. Boyertown was able to cut this lead down to 7. Again, 4:30 left. Almost a walk there, but Eddie Higgins tries to kick it away. Coach Miller's yelling for something on the sideline. I think he wants his defense to rotate a little bit more. That three-pointer just a little bit long. And Black right there on the weak side, but he gets knocked away. He's going to be fouled. And, John, that's something when you're shooting three-pointers. Those rebounds are usually a little longer. Eddie had great position, but that just bounced a little bit too high, and Stinson was there to get it.
Any other night, I'm sure that Eddie Higgins is saying to himself, nobody is going to get an offensive board over me. Tonight, it's going to happen, all right? Norristown's too athletic. They're too big for them not to get a couple. The job for Boyertown is you have to limit that. You have to make sure that you're limiting their opportunities, which really means that 5 guys have got to be boxing out. And there's been some times in the game tonight when these long three-pointers by Norristown have been taken, and there hasn't been a box out. I think luckily the ball's not going to Norristown, but every single guy has got a box out. Can't just be Eddie Higgins tonight.
Eddie looking like a pro down there, making the spin move, but again, we've said it many times tonight, Stinson's just big. Eddie couldn't get completely around him, got caught under the basket. Luckily, Norristown knocked it out of bounds, and Eddie was very politely discussing with the referee that he thought there might have been a little bit of foul, pushing him a little bit further underneath the basket. But we'll see what Boyertown can do here. Again, they've evaporated their lead, and that certainly is going to hurt as Richard Black's shot is short. .330 left in the quarter, and there's the hot hand. Johnson penetrating, gets it off to Gomez, gets his own rebound, and there's Higgins fighting 2 or 3 times, finally able to rip it out of the air. And here comes Cap the other way. He's going to go to the line. That's the second time Jake has been fouled driving to the basket. Nice to see he still has that in his repertoire.
And really, nice word. And really, that was a situation where if he would have pulled that back and got going to the offense, I don't think there would have been anybody who would have faulted him for that. That was like a 2-on-4. But Jake must have seen, a Norristown defender turn his head. He must have seen a little bit of daylight there, and he was able to slice through to get himself to the foul line. So they're going to need aggressiveness like that on the offensive end to stay in this game. Norristown's not going away. They're going to keep coming. They're going to keep scoring. Boyertown's got to figure out a way.
There's another one,
score.
John.
I can't believe
There's another
it.
one. I saw that coming as soon as he spun around. Eddie was standing on the block, and he was not going to move.
So Eddie, who had 10 charges the first 6 games of the season, has gone cold, and he's making up for lost time here. This could be a big momentum shift if the Bears can make a 2, make a 3, get something on the board.
Good defense here from Norristown now. See what we can do to cut into this lead. Certainly Norristown has cooled off a bit since the beginning of the quarter. I can't imagine they could have kept that up with the shooting that they had. I don't have the timing in front of me, but they certainly came out and they jumped ahead with probably within 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so of this quarter. Boyertown content to slow it down and be a little more patient with this pressure as well. Trying to get an opening somewhere. This seems to be what they're going to need to do, John. A lot of penetration and kick out, and eventually they'll find an open shot. There's Black, and he nails it. There's the patience Boyertown needed. And the lead's all of a sudden 3.
Norristown so good defensively and plugging up the lanes, and then their recovery time, very, very good. So you're right. I think Boyertown, if they have a lane, they have to be ready to make that jump stop, to kick the ball out to the shooters. And shooters got to be ready, and they got to be ready to fire it up quick. I don't think Richard was a couple of possessions ago when he fired up that short shot there. He was ready. Big shot for the Bears.
Eisenhardt in the corner. You can't do that, Colin. I mean, I think he was still on the soccer field trying to body someone to the line.
Maybe he thought the shot went up, and he was trying to box out. But I do appreciate Colin doing that, and then looking at the referee like, come on, what did I do? You know,
that's going to send Zakai Gomez to the line. And what do you think, John? Is he going to make it?
And if you're talking about Izzy, maybe you can head over to Izzy's on third for an Eddie Higgins Big Shot Burger. Good one, Jim. There you go.
Well, I can't take credit for it. My wife texted us.
I know. I saw it.
So you were going to take credit for it?
Yeah, I was going to give you credit for it. You're the one who brought it up. Yeah.
Well, Izzy did not make it, or Zakai did not make it. So Izzy's going to make it no. And here's DJ Johnson again with the steal and the layup.
Well, Coach Miller, as you were writing down your book right there, Coach Miller's going to get a technical foul here. And you know what? I do not disagree, Coach. Take that technical foul. Jay Cap is getting hounded out there with the ball. And I realize that you can't call everything. You can't. Norristown's too physical of a team. If you call everything by the book here, the game's going to grind to a halt. I get that. But what has happened a couple times out there is they are allowing a lot of contact out there. And Jay Cap was getting hounded. I'm sure there was a whole lot more contact than just ball and hand right there. And Coach Miller was not happy about it. And, man, he followed the official from the mid-court line all the way past the N on Boyertown and probably said something a little bit too colorful. And here we are with 2 shots for Norristown.
And DJ Johnson hits both of them. John, that's 14 for Johnson this quarter.
And 14 for the game. Did he have any in the first quarter?
He had 2.
What a half.
So, yeah, it's an amazing display here. And, John, since the rules have changed, I'm going to sound like a crotchety old man that I am. Back in my day, coaches weren't allowed to stand anyway.
That's true. They were not allowed to stand. You're right.
And now TJ Miller's – I'm sorry, TJ Miller. Wrong sport. Travis Miller has to sit for the rest of the game, and I could tell you if I was used to standing for a basketball game, this would be very difficult for me. John Alfie gets another one.
Yeah, it's gonna be an adjustment now for him, but you know what? They've been through more difficult times than Coach Miller having to sit. They'll be okay.
Jake Cap again. He's really starting to get frustrated with himself that he can't get these to drop. Riding solo with you for the last 36 seconds here. John is heading downstairs to start getting things ready for the festivities. Jake Cap misses his first. And he'll have one more opportunity. 36.5 seconds left in the quarter. Norristown jumped back out to their 9-point lead. Make it 8. On that made foul shot by Cap. Wouldn't be surprised if Norristown holds it here for one last shot, holding an 8-point lead. Remember, at the end of the first quarter, they were able to put up a last-second three-pointer from Gomez in the corner. See what they can do here. Getting down to 10 seconds left. They kick it back over to the corner. And there's another three-pointer at the end of the quarter. That's Denolfi. And that one hurts. That puts Norristown up 11 going into halftime. And we'll be back for the second half. Everybody get on Facebook Live, Boyertown Athletics, Bash Athletics page, where you will see the live burger eating from Izzy's on Third. Get yourselves over to Facebook Live, Boyertown Athletics page, and we'll see you here after halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boyertown Senior Night, but also to our first ever Eddie Higgins Big Shot Burger Night. We've got the head chef, Jimmy Benson, here from Izzy's on Third Restaurant, as we have a couple of the Eddie Higgins Big Shot Burgers on hand. Yes, and Izzy's And we have a couple of burgers for these two gentlemen. We're letting in about 2 minutes here. And we're going to say this. During these 2 minutes, we are going to talk about the burger here a little bit. We're going to discuss a little bit about it and what it is all about, why the ingredients are in there. But Mr. Maori is a burger eating champion. We're going to talk about what that is in a second. Jerry Cap is a budding eating competitor, I suppose. So we're going to give you 2 minutes, and while that's happening, we're going to talk about this. First, get a look at this, folks. This is 6.5 inches of just burger bliss right here. So, gentlemen, for 2 minutes, we're going to say whoever finishes it first. We're putting ketchup on it? Is that allowed? Jim, you allowed? All right, now, for 2 minutes, we're going to say whoever finishes it first and whoever eats more is going to be our winner. We're going to talk to Mr. Jimmy Benson over here. Mr. Maori, are you ready? Oh. Jerry, are you ready for this? All right. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, now, folks, we're going to give our microphone over here to Mr. Jimmy Benson, our head chef over at Izzy's on Third, to tell us a little bit about the burger, how he made it, why it got named after Eddie Higgins. Here's Mr. Jimmy Benson. Give a hand for Jimmy Benson over here, please.
Thank you, everybody. This burger came about by Eddie Higgins shot off the free throw 2 weeks ago while I was here. I felt the energy through the whole place. We do a burger a week every single week, so I felt like Eddie deserved to get his own burger. Me and him kind of combined on it just to make something special, something big, something bold like Eddie, something ferocious like Eddie. And these guys are doing a great job right now.
Looks like Andrew is in a slight lead, but just like his exploits on the field, similar to that Norristown football game here at Boyertown High School on our last second, looks like Jerry Cap starting to come back a little bit, making Mr. Maori a little bit nervous. It was a big fight last time. It might be neck and neck. It's close. It looks like Mr. Maori is really starting to take some massive fight back.
Have we talked about why the ingredients are on there yet? We did?
So it's got bacon, pork roll, cheddar, American, fried egg on the bottom. It's got macaroni and cheese wedges on the top. So it's got 4 slices of bacon, it's 2 slices of pork roll, that's number 42. It's got 4 slices of cheddar, 2 slices of American bread, it's number 42.
Well, I think it's over. It's Mr. Maori.
You just finished that whole burger in 2 minutes.
Round 2.
Finish this! Finish! Not in today's day and age. Folks, big round of applause for our eaters, Mr. Maori, Jerry. Mr. Maori is a eating champion at the Hamburg Burger Festival, the amateur record for number of burgers eaten in 9 minutes. Something like that. The champ still reigns. Big hand for Mr. Maori. Great job, great job. So right now, folks, we do have some Izzy's gear we can give away. We want to thank Izzy's on Third for being here tonight, for sponsoring it. Are you eating his burger too? Jeez. I guess, well, actually, folks, also, you missed your chance at the competition. I'm sure you're not too upset. But remember, students, green ticket, 8975. If you have it, come on down, you get a burger. Folks, 6260. Pink ticket, if you got one. If we don't have any winners in the next few seconds, we will announce again. right, the burgers have not been claimed. Students who got a ticket, green ticket, is there an 8956? Check it, 8956. Pink tickets, 6261. 6261.
Got another one, 6264. Anybody 6264?
Well, folks, we are close to being back here at the start of the second half, and not sure if you could hear all the festivities out there at halftime, but it was Eddie Higgins' Big Shot Burger Night. Jim and I have our very own Big Shot burgers up here, and I think Jim is going to take his first try of the burger that Mr. Maori housed in 2 minutes. Incredible. Jim, your first bite. What do you got? What are you thinking? Do we need a napkin? I'll go get you a napkin. Never mind. We found a towel. We're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have got to get to Izzy's. This thing is unbelievable. It's almost impossible to get all in one bite.
You can't get this thing in your mouth. Oh my gosh, look at this thing.
John, if you squeeze it, I think you could. But it is unbelievably good. And I have to say, unfortunately, Zach Ward's efforts lead to a walk, going for the ball 30 seconds into the third quarter. John, this Izzy special sauce is something else.
I haven't. I'm too busy Instagramming this up here. I haven't even tried it yet. What's the special sauce?
I have no idea what the special sauce is. It's special and secret, but it's good.
Oh, wow, Jim. You get...
I don't know what's better, the bite of burger I just took or the fact that Jay Cap just nailed a 3 to cut this lead to 8.
You get a full mouthful of cheese from that 6 slices of cheese plus the burger. I mean, it is an overload, and it is spectacular.
And believe me, I would not be saying this just because Jimmy is here and he did all this for us tonight. This is a really, really good burger. The meat is great. Eddie Higgins going to the line, showing his strength down low.
I just ate a bite and picked up my microphone. I wonder if the burger remnants, if the grease will be on the microphone next winter when we do this. Oh my gosh, this is something else, folks. Izzy's on third. If you can get there tonight, good for you. But man, Izzy's on third for the Eddie Higgins Big Shot Burger. And by the way, they have burger specials every week, Jimmy was telling us. And there are just some interesting combinations they're throwing out there. Great stuff. Happy to have them here tonight.
Look at this Boyertown defense all of a sudden. Zach Ward with the rebound. Would have liked to see him go straight back up with that. He decides to take it back out and shoot a little jump shot. It's no good. Still got an 8-point lead. And there's the first points of the third quarter for our man Righteous Mitchell.
Is Mitchell at 20 now?
No, DJ Johnson was the big scorer. Those were
Johnson, that's right.
Mitchell's first baskets of the game. Another drive from Cap. I think he was looking for a foul there, going into three people. And there's Johnson, puts on the afterburners.
You know, this is when you play a team like Norristown who has this physical style of play. You know, we always used to say this to our guys as we were coaching. We would say, listen, be as physical as you possibly can early in the game, and you dictate how the referees are going to call this thing. Because if you come out and you're physical and your hands are on your opponent, sure, the officials may call the foul, but like we said earlier in the first half, tough to call every little thing and bring that game to a grinding halt. Right there in other games, I'm sure Jake would have been going to the line there on that shot. But in a game like this where it's been so physical and Norristown is dictating how physical that is, I'm not surprised the referees are letting it go. They can't call everything, and you know, it's a little bit on them to enforce the rules, but it's also a little bit now on Boyertown to up their physical play and go right back at Norristown as hard as they can.
Another timeout from Boyertown. Norristown still playing very pressure man-to-man defense. Cap's going to take Righteous Mitchell baseline. He does a great job stopping him down there on the low. Here's a three-point attempt from Cap. That's short. He's going to get his own rebound. Smartly throws it off the leg of Zakai Gomez. Boyertown will keep possession.
Good hustle by Jake and a good shot by Jake as well. That's a shot, you know, unfortunately that didn't go in. That's a shot that's going to have to go in here in the second half if Boyertown wants to come back. They're not really built to come back from a 12-point deficit, especially against a team like this. But if Norristown keeps the pace that they're playing at, it might give Boyertown enough opportunities to get back in the game.
There's Higgins. They're not going to count the basket. So Lou at a line to shoot too. That's a nice use of his size going in underneath.
If they would have counted the basket, that would have been incredible because it didn't go in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must be seeing things from all of this burger euphoria.
I mean that'd have been great. Give us the ball and the points when it doesn't go in. Why not?
Eddie Higgins 1 for 4 from the line tonight. Norristown gets it up court quickly. They have some speed on this court, but one way to get it up faster is passing it. That's exactly what they did that time. Righteous Mitchell underneath, down to Denolfi. Good little head fake. And they're up now to a 13-point lead.
You know, Norristown just a little bit too quick. When they make that drive, Eddie Higgins has to kind of step up there to take that away. And once Higgins steps up, it's the wings' job to drop and to do what they can to try to get in front of whoever is there at the block. But Norristown doing a great job of just parking somebody right there. And Boyertown just not fast enough or physical enough to make that drop and get in front of the Norristown guys. So easy drives and dishes right now for the Eagles.
Jay Cap makes it a 10-point game with his second three-pointer of the quarter. Cap quietly with 14 points tonight. Far and away the high score for Boyertown. This has been Norristown's MO tonight. A lot of movement around the outside. Drive and dish. It's been successful for them. See if Boyertown can cut into this 10-point lead, and Richard Black does. 2 3-pointers in a row for Boyertown. One from Cap, one from Black. Leads back to 7.
Like I said, Norristown is going to keep putting up shots just like that. They're a fast-paced team. If they keep playing at this pace, Boyertown's got a shot, but they got to knock them down when they have them. Richard Black did right there.
John, I have officially eaten half of my burger.
I think I'm just like a third of the way through. This is too much, but it is awesome. Whew, it's good.
I ate the bottom half of the burger, which was bun,
The egg.
egg, bacon. So I have burger, mac and cheese cubes, or whatever they're called.
I don't think I've even ventured into the mac and cheese cubes yet. I haven't even gotten there yet. This thing's so big.
Great post move from Colin Eisenhard. That makes it a 5-point game. And we have a full timeout on the court. Good little spurt here from Boyertown.
Timeout taken by Norristown's coach, Binky Johnson. Awesome nickname there. Awesome name, Righteous, for them. Awesome nickname, Binky. I would love a story on that, but gotta love a good nickname. Boyertown has plenty of good nicknames going around here.
Skinny Moats.
Skinny, Doc,
Moyer.
Rico, Mooch.
John Kaleda.
Just the ones I know. Nah, I never got a nickname.
John T.
I tried to, when I went to college, I tried to like invent a nickname for myself. It was like something. Oh,
They
gosh.
never stick.
No, they don't. Cause I said like, hey guys, call me this, and they were like, nah, we're gonna call you, something else. And I was like, okay, no, just call me John. Don't call me that. So.
You know what my nickname in college was, John?
Oh, please tell me.
Bill.
Do I want to know why?
It's not horrible.
You always had those dollar bills?
No, we were listening to a comedy CD, and a guy's name was Mike, and somebody called him Bill, and the way he said it was funny. He said, "What do you say, Bill?" So we just said that to each other all the time, and for some reason they just kept saying it to me because it got old with everybody else, and it just stuck. And I was Bill for 3.5 years. Got to the point to where friends of mine from college is Richard Black, another three-point attempt. That would have been huge for Boyertown. See if they can get a stop at the other end, just holding this 5-point lead. Eisenhart just demolishes Gomez as he tries.
Were you going to say that they didn't even know your name was Jim?
Yeah,
You were
a lot
Bill.
of the upperclassmen
Yeah.
didn't know my name was Jim, and my friends from college, this was before cell phones, so you actually had to call the landline at the house. So my college friends would call me over the summer and ask for Bill, and my parents would hang up the phone. Sorry, you have the wrong number.
We made that mistake sending out invitations for our wedding, Jim, my wife and me. We sent out invitations. Her good friend from high school was dating somebody, so we said, all right, well, we got to send him an invitation. So looked on Facebook. We were Facebook friends, got his name, sent it out. Saw us at the wedding and said, hey, you realize that I just made up that last name, right? And it's like not my real last name. It's just like a silly inside joke. He said, oh, hi. And, well, what's your name? And it was, we had a good laugh, but embarrassing, Jim, a little embarrassing.
So you invited someone to your wedding that you did not know their name?
Yeah. Aside from the, 5 or 10 crashers that showed up, yeah.
Second three-point attempt from Richard Black and has many possessions. Fortunately, neither one falls. They were able to hold Norristown to only one foul shot last time down. We have 1:23 left in the quarter. The lead is 6 for the Eagles. I wonder if Nick and Tony Palladino have anything riding on this game. Nick's brother Tony, obviously the athletic director for the Eagles. There's a third!
You're
There's a
kidding
third
me.
from Big Eddie Higgins.
Oh, big shot, big charge. Eddie, now this is where they need to ride this momentum and get a bucket here. Eddie Higgins, look at him walking that has got to hurt, getting run into by a man of that size there. You need a bucket here. And looks like Norristown going to a 2-3 zone here to see if Boyertown can get a shot.
Jake Kapp splits that defense, looks for Higgins. They're going to give it to Boyertown. And Norristown is not happy.
Well, if that official can't see it right there, he's the only one with an angle. If the official closest to us would have overturned that, I think you would have seen Coach Miller maybe get another technical foul. Of course, if he does that, we know what happens.
Well, John, I don't know if you saw, as Jake Kapp comes from the side, and he hits it from the corner. Jake Kapp with his third three-pointer of the quarter. And this lead is now 3 with 37 seconds left in the quarter.
Great shot by Jake there. Great execution by Boyertown. They were down by 12, now down by 3. Big stop would be phenomenal here for the Bears defense. And going into the fourth quarter with some momentum.
One thing that has been consistent is Norristown has hit shots at the buzzer in the first and second quarter. That's the man you want to have with the ball. Gives it off to Gomez. Nice shot fake. Oh, and Donalfo has trouble with it underneath. Oh! Higgins does not like that call.
You can almost see as Norristown starts their penetration almost just loop there. You can see the play developing, and you just kind of know they're going to get a shot. Donalfo wasn't able to handle that first pass, and Higgins probably stepped up a little bit too much there. But, a missed foul shot here. They got to make sure they outlet it to a guard right away. They're shooters. They need Ward and Black and Kapp to just race for those corners and try to penetrate, kick out. Hopefully a jump shot here at the end if they can get it.
Rebound to Kapp. He's got 3 seconds left. He's going to take it himself.
Get in there, Jake.
Nails it! Jake Kapp at the buzzer of the third quarter. Cuts the lead to 1. I think. Yes, there we go. How about that for delayed excitement?
What a shot. And fortunately, the rebound came off to Jake Kapp there. And why would you not step up on Jake Kapp, of all people, to take him out of the game? I'm sure Coach Johnson is going to be talking about that on the bench right now for Norristown. But phenomenal barrage of three-pointers and points there from Boyertown to get back in this game. And now all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about that pace anymore of Norristown keeping you in this game. Now you can just play the game like you were playing it before. Play your pace on offense. Get the shots you want. Slow it down if you need to. And on defense, stick with that zone. Make sure that you talk. Hopefully Coach Miller is talking about not stepping up on those Norristown drives. Higgins has to stay low. The guys up front got to do their best not to get beat. But if they do get beat, in my opinion, Higgins should stay right where he is. Take away the blocks. And if they want to shoot a little 6-7 foot floater in the lane, to me, that's a whole lot better than giving up that little bounce pass for an easy layup. So we'll see how the Bears react to Norristown's ability to drive, because that's been a big part of the Eagles' offense so far.
Norristown to get it to start the fourth quarter. And, John, we talked about quarter scoring last game. It was 10-9 in favor of Boyertown after the first quarter, and Norristown obviously had that huge second quarter, 21-9 in their favor. Boyertown had the third quarter 18-8 as their defense is pumped right now. Norristown had 8 points that quarter. Jake Kapp had 12 on 4 3-pointers. Absolutely his best quarter of the year that I've seen. He may have had a better one on the road, but it looks like Zakai Gomez is going to be attached to the hip of Jake Kapp. He's not able to get that on the paint.
That was a good design by Boyertown. They run that little action there, and they have for years. They've run that action where they throw that guard who runs across the top, and what they've added this year is just another option off that. The point guard gets to choose which side he goes to, and Jake Kapp, as Roman did not like what he saw on the right-hand side, got Cap isolated, and that was the right call. It was the right move. Norristown just better defense, able to swat that one away.
Boyertown still in their 2-3 zone. Very methodical in their movements now. They really are not jumping the gaps like they did before, keeping Norristown in front of them. We'll see if that pays off for them here at the end of the game as John gets back into his burger. I'm so far ahead. If it were you against me, John, I think I would have had this no problem. Long three-pointer from Gomez. That's no good. Norristown's going to try to save it. Boyertown's going to be able to take the lead this trip down the court if they can convert.
Now, I wonder if Norristown just, doesn't have something that they feel comfortable with in the full court pressure. But there, I thought would have been a perfect time to full court press. You have the ball blocked dead. They can't move off that inbounds pass. But Norristown instead just going to play very good defense in the half court, which they have all game long. Really.
That's the first lob to Higgins tonight. He's got someone undersized on him. But that's a timeout from Travis Miller as Eisenhard was stepping up.
Coach Miller realizing the importance of this possession, feeling the momentum, ready to shift his way entirely here. So I will bet you that he is going to draw up something where it's going to be a play. I mean, it's got to be for Cap or Higgins at this point, right? So he is definitely going to draw something up here and try and get this lead right now. And then after that, if they do get the lead here, it is up to their D to slow this high-flying, fast-paced Norristown Eagles team down.
John, that was my son FaceTiming me from school. He was having trouble getting on the NFHS network.
Oh, no.
Well, he's missed quite a game so far. Been up and down. Boyertown's going to have the ball underneath their own basket. Once again with a chance to take the lead. And we'll see what could be drawn up here from Coach Miller. My guess, it's going to be a three-point attempt from Black or Cap.
You're right. Richard has had quite a half, too, as well. Made a couple of big three-pointers, and really I haven't seen them get too many easy looks inside. But the three-pointers are certainly available.
Cap with a nice dish to Higgins, but those quick hands from Norristown. That goes out of bounds. Eisenhard thought it was off of Righteous Mitchell.
Well, if Mitchell touched it when his feet were already out of bounds, it'd be off Norristown, but I guess referee saw that he was not out of bounds, and Eisenhard was standing out of bounds, so that's why it's all Norristown ball here.
Righteous Miller with a one-handed, one-footed running fade lob shot. Leads back to 3.
Norristown so active with the hands here. Tough for the Boyertown ball handlers to get any sort of space.
Jump shot from Zach Ward. In and out. Dinolfi now inside. Back to Dinolfi. 10-foot jump shot is no good. There's Higgins. He's had some big rebounds tonight. And we'll see what Boyertown can do coming the other way. Boyertown's got to be careful. This man-to-man defense that they're playing, they're going to get a lot of counts, and that's just an ill-advised lob pass that I do not think Coach Miller's happy with. Especially since Righteous Miller was all alone and misses a shot. Jay Cap trying to work through 2 or 3 people.
No. Now, yeah.
They're going to talk. They're going to talk.
Ask for help.
No.
Jeez. There were 4 people right around there because he was stuck in the middle of it. I don't think he saw anything, but I think we saw up here that the ball was definitely tipped away from Jerry Cap after all that contact there. I'm not sure what he thought he saw, the referee, the official there, but man, I think only people in blue thought that ball was out on Boyertown there.
And here comes Norristown again, which is what they've done all game. You're going to see him pass the perimeter, dribble penetration, and either kick out They were pass inside. And it would be beneficial to them for them to be patient here. And here comes the drive. That got hands on Cap. That should be a jump ball. It is. It's Boyertown's ball. Great defense from Cap. Crowd wanting a tee.
Ironic, Norristown is trying to argue for a foul there, but man, there's been a lot that has been left go here. I would expect a lot to be left go here in the last 4.5 minutes too. So whichever team can withstand the other team's pressure a little bit, that might be the team that.
Long two-pointer from Big Shot Eddie. The lead is 1.
Well, again, Norristown has neutralized the middle of the floor there, especially in the lane. So it's going to have to be from the outside that Boyertown wins this game.
And this is the one difference we're seeing. Boyertown had Here Comes Black, just as I was about to say that Boyertown is safe to sit inside their 2-3 zone, inside the three-point line, not really pressuring. And here comes Black to try to get a count. Norristown can sit here for 3 minutes and 47 seconds and end this game. If Boyertown lets them, here comes Marinello. They're going to start to get a count, a little bit of pressure now.
The Bears can be physical here. They can be physical. They're only at 2 fouls right now. They can be physical and do really whatever they want out front.
Nasir Williams with his first basket of the game. Been very effective for Norristown today, being able to find those open men down on the block after they do that dribble penetration. Good little spin move by Marinello. Smallest guy on the court. Able to get the lead down to 1 again for Boyertown.
Boyertown just hasn't been able to get over the hump here and take that lead. I feel like if they take that lead at some point, the crowd's going to go nuts. The momentum's going to fully shift if they can just get over that hump.
Dinolfi now, and there's Marinello fighting for it. That can't be a foul.
You know, his initial contact, he didn't call a foul. I thought his initial contact was worse than what he did as he was on the floor, and Roman doesn't like it, and sure, I wouldn't like it either.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it either. And I'm happy to report my son is back on. The boys at 93 Main are listening in for the last 2:45. Boyertown down by 1.
Did you send him
that was a timeout Eagle?
Yes, it was. Did you send him a picture of the burger that you are working through right now?
I ate it too fast.
Are you done with it?
No, I got half of it left.
Right.
I might take it home and give Max some of the mac and cheese bites. But I will definitely be back. You know, the complete, here's another word for it, John. The complete antithesis of this Big Shot burger is probably the salad.
Oh, gosh.
My wife's a big fan of the salad dressing at Izzy's on 3rd.
Really?
Yeah. They have great salad dressing.
What kind? Any kind?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have a vinaigrette that she really likes. I'm sure she'll text me and correct me if she's listening.
Izzy's, when they went through the little changeover they had a few years ago, upped their menu a little bit, and we always go there for the short rib sandwich, and they really upped their appetizer game. They've got nachos, they have wings, they have bee stinger wings, which is like that sweet, hot flavor, which is my favorite on a wing. So if I ever go there, I usually end up spending way too much money because I want the wings, I want an appetizer as well, and then I want my main course, my burger, my sandwich, whatever. I mean, I literally spend $28 there just myself.
I spend $28 on appetizers. John, dare I say, with 2:45 left, big stop coming up for Boyertown here if they can manage to get it. There's Righteous Mitchell. Wow. Unbelievable shot from the man named Righteous.
And then just to run down the court casually like it wasn't a big deal. Wow. Great move from him. Great spin move in the air. What a move.
Oh, and there's DJ Johnson. And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, the lead's back up to 5.
I mean, you really have to use your body against these Norristown defenders. Use your body to protect that ball. And Cap kind of did that there as you saw him dribble down the court. And 5-point lead, not insurmountable here, but Norristown is kind of, seems like they're at the point where they're starting to stretch this thing out. Hopefully Boyertown can knock 2 down here and get a stop.
Yeah, Boyertown's definitely going to have to make a switch up defensively. They were a little lax in the past couple trips down the court as Jake makes his first one. Letting a lot of time right off the clock. They certainly have 2:10. Certainly plenty of time with only a 4-point lead and maybe 3 points if Cap can hit this next one. But it seems to be effective also. Potentially drive at these guys in the paint as Cap does cut it to a 3-point lead. Basket's good. They're calling a foul on a push on the rebound, I believe, on Eisenhower. And another technical for Travis Miller. This has been difficult.
Wow.
Difficult for Boyertown.
No, now, Trav, you have to, Now, this is probably the first time that Coach Miller has been tossed out of a game, but, at that point, when you get tossed, you got to go get your money's worth over there, and Coach Miller just kind of nicely left and went out the side there. But man, you got to head over and say your piece to that official who just tossed you. So hopefully Coach Marinello can settle the boys down here. Hopefully it's just a 1 out of 2 situation for Norristown because it's a 4-point lead right now.
Unfortunately, it was DJ Johnson at the line who's playing like Kobe tonight. At least he had a second quarter like him. And the lead's back to 5. Now, John, help us with the rule book. Is assistant coach Mike Marinello, is he allowed to stand up?
No, he is not. Because of the technical foul early, that means that any coach can't stand up now, especially because there's been 2 assessed on the bench. I believe this also means that Boyertown does not make any sort of district play. I think this means Coach Miller might have to sit out the first game next season.
A lot of bodies inside. Starting to get really chippy now. Boyertown did make that change on defense, playing a lot of pressure D, but some of the speed and athleticism of Norristown starting to show. Colin Eisenhardt just 2-hand pushed Righteous Mitchell to the ground, did not get a call. Now it seems interesting. Boyertown wants a foul, and they're not calling anything.
Well, this is, I've seen plenty of games like this get out of hand, and it's the official's job to control it right now. And if they see something, they got to call it, whether it's on Boyertown or Norristown, because games like this that are chippy can turn ugly real quick. And they seem to be very, very intent on making sure that Coach Miller doesn't say anything nasty to them. So they really got to make sure that they're taking it upon themselves to make sure that nasty play on the floor doesn't happen again. Boyertown or Norristown, or else the last 130 could get ugly.
So I guess it's also against the rules for us to text Coach Miller and have him use the back way and come up here and watch the game from the press boxes.
That's a really good idea. I'm not sure that I could adequately give him the direction here.
I could.
Go ahead.
He can get on his phone and watch us on the NFHS network.
There's so many winding paths you have to take up here. It'd be tough to get it to him.
It is. We often talked, my son and I often talked that just in case there was a zombie apocalypse, Boyertown High School would be a great place to hunker down. You have all the courtyards, you get up on the roof,
Okay.
You have all the food in the cafeteria, the medical supplies in the nurse's office.
Sounds like a movie you're making.
Well, it's a great series, Walking Dead.
Can head chef Jimmy Benson from Izzy's on 3rd be there as well with his Izzy's Burgers?
He absolutely could.
Boy.
Eisenhardt on Johnson. Some point in time they're going to have to foul, and they did. And I don't know if we like that one. People have been getting knocked out in the paint.
Yes.
And that's going to be the foul.
I don't disagree that there's a lot of hand on hip and hand action there at the top. I don't disagree that that's a foul, But come on now. There has been so much in this game that you have let go, and that is what you're going to call now. That's how you're taking control of the game? Oy vey.
And that's 5 on Colin Eisenhart. He'll be out of the game. As Ryan Tinney replaces him. Good defensive ball handling option here for Boyertown. And if there's one thing I can say, John, for Norristown tonight, they have been fairly consistent from the line, especially this man, DJ Johnson. He is a perfect 7 for 7 right now. And he has certainly had himself a night. There, I jinxed him. Stepped over the line. Haven't seen that since Biddy Ball.
Well, you don't see many three-pointers in Biddy Ball either, but the Bears will need a couple of them right here.
1:20 left. It is a 6-point game. That means 2 possessions. Looks like Jake Kapp is going to try to use a Higgins pick. Is someone going to blow their whistle? Did anybody blow their whistle?
It was late, but it looks like it's going to be Norristown ball.
And it's a jump ball. I think that's a good example of the aggressiveness, John, that we were talking about before. You know, that was a pretty aggressive defense. Very good defense from Norristown. I'm not going to knock them for it. But I've certainly seen a lot more go. And here's Tinney going to D-up Johnson this time. Johnson quickly gets past into the half court. And if Boyertown's going to want to stop the clock, they're going to have to foul. But they don't have to worry about that because there's a missed layup. Give Higgins a half a block on that one. Black's three-pointer is blocked by none other than DJ Johnson.
What recovery from that Norristown defense right there. You thought Boyertown had an easy look at a three-pointer, and he just came out of nowhere.
Boyertown's going to have to take a 3. If they make it, you figure there will be a very quick timeout. There's Marinello with it. Getting into 37 seconds. He'll chuck this one. Great shot fake. That's going to leave them all alone. That's no good. That's going to be Norristown. No, they're going to give it to Boyertown. Hey, we'll take it.
We will. You look at Roman. He knows it. He knows that was a big shot right there. Still, if you can make one the next 10 seconds or so here, you get a foul shot situation. You're still okay, but you need a three-pointer here.
Jake's coming to the corner. Gomez got right over that one. They're going to call that on the floor, which is smart for Norristown. They still got 3 fouls to give. So they can let them drive and foul them. Cut at least another 10 to 12 seconds off this game. 24.3 left. Higgins with a three-pointer from the corner. That's long. And it looks like Norristown's going to escape this unless DJ Johnson does the extraordinary and miss a foul shot.
Yeah, I mean the way he's playing tonight, I would say he's definitely good here for at least one, and one might do it for the Bears here. What a hard-fought game they had here right up again until the end. And man, a couple of opportunities they had to make some big shots down the stretch and just didn't quite get it done.
He does miss the first. Boyertown's still alive. Jake Kapp with the quick 2. Coach Marinello calls the timeout.
See the Norristown coaching staff over there saying, don't just let him go. Don't just let him. But I don't know. I don't disagree, really, with what the Eagles did right there, unless Coach Johnson has a little fear of them missing another front end of a 1-and-1. But, giving Cap that shot still, it's a 2-possession game. It's still going to be a 2-possession game after they foul Norristown here and send them to the foul line with, not really enough time, I don't think, for a Norristown possession, a Boyertown possession, another Norristown possession, and then another Boyertown possession. So, to give hard-earned 2 points there for Cap, but I think Norristown did the right thing there.
The scoreboard was fixed. It is now a 4-point lead. That is 2 possessions. But if you think about it, it's still going to be 2 possessions, even if you foul and they make both of their one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still at a 2-possession game.
You got to hope for a miss. Well, you hope for a steal here, but if that doesn't happen, you hope for at least a 1 out of 2. You need a very quick make. However, the big thing looming here is that Boyertown is out of timeouts. If Norristown's smart, they let Boyertown make another one and just let that clock run.
Boyertown does foul, less than a second marked off the clock. My wife did text me, John, it is the Italian it is that she likes.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure they mix their own right there. They have such good ingredients. They have such good food right there, and I still don't think that you've talked me into a salad there after having this burger. But
I didn't intend to talk you into salad. I'm just like pitching me. He does miss the foul shot, and Norristown smartly, potentially smartly. It's an interesting call. Let's just say
I don't know, and I don't think
that's their last foul to give.
Right.
It might be a little bit early. They probably could have waited to get further up the court.
Yeah, I don't think it really helps or hurts them, but I think it does kind of help Boyertown here because they get a chance to do that.
He was right there for it. Boyertown certainly giving it their all, and they're going to have the possession 1.3. We are in Miracle Town now, John.
Yeah,
anything can happen. It'd be a great way to go out, huh?
Well, they need a three-pointer, and they need a foul on it. If I'm Norristown, I'm staying right inside the three-pointer. Why even?
Well, that kind of makes the sting even worse, in my opinion, because that makes the scoreboard a 1-point game. And as you go back and look at the 5 foul shots Boyertown missed in this game, a lot of times the game is won. They used to say, actually, again, in my day, layups and foul shots win games, John. Layups and foul shots.
Yeah, I guess you can go back through and look at all the missed opportunities the Bears had there, and there were some foul shots there that we think Norristown maybe, with the play and how physical it was. Like I think we're thinking, all right, well, how many of those foul shots should they have had there? We thought maybe there were some calls that didn't go Boyertown's way, but in the end, just once again, a little difficult for Boyertown to find that four-quarter rhythm. You can say with this team they certainly played great for stretches, and sometimes the stretches just weren't quite long enough. Defensively, they played great every game, maybe aside from a couple in the season, but defensively they played hard for 36 minutes, 32 minutes rather, every game, and did what they could to keep themselves in it. But it was the offensive consistency that really drowned them in a couple of games this season. So because of the loss tonight, because of the loss a couple nights ago to PV, I really don't think that Boyertown has a chance to make the district playoffs. I believe they have a game on Saturday, and now I'm going to forget where. But for this group, for this senior group, for this team, certainly their MO was that they were hard-nosed on the defensive end and really worked hard to find good shots on the offensive end, but it just would not fall at the appropriate times for them.
Looking at the scorebook here for Norristown, Stinson with 2, Williams with 2, our man Righteous Mitchell with 4, Zakai Gomez 4, Donalfi put in 12, and DJ Johnson 25 on the night for the Eagles. On the Boyertown side, Eisenhard with 2, Zach Ward added 3, Marinello 5, Eddie Higgins with 5, Richard Black with 9, and Jake Kapp on the heels of a huge third quarter drops in 24. And John, that does it for the game tonight. Congratulations to all the seniors. And a huge, huge thank you once again to Jimmy from Izzy's on Third for the wonderful night, the wonderful halftime festivities he gave us. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying this because I met the guy tonight. I'm not saying this because of all the swag he gave everybody tonight. That was one heck of a good burger.
Same. The burger I'm still looking at half of it here. It's a monster. It is an absolute monster. If you get this burger, you will have it for dinner. You'll probably have it for lunch the next day, and maybe even have some left over for a little snack later on. That's how big this burger is. It was delicious. The food over there is always good. The time over there you have with your friends and family or buddies when you head over there is always a good time. Recently, they put that outside deck there, the big awning there, with a big bar set up. They have the TVs there, but food is just wonderful over there. Waitresses, waiters, very, very friendly. We're so happy to kind of include them into tonight that they were willing to come over and do something for us, and happy to keep that relationship going throughout the years. I would love to say we're sponsored by Izzy's on 3rd every season now. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, too. Well, that'll be it for tonight. We will see you back here in the Bear Gym for the 22-23 school year. Hard to believe.
Wow.
And you never know. John, maybe we'll get roped up into doing a couple night lacrosse games.
Wow.
Kind of learn the game together.
They are broadcast on the NAFHS.
Okay. Could have a couple more nights.
I don't know. Pass. What are the terms in lacrosse? Pass, shoot, score.
Middies.
That's
wheels.
it.
I hear that a lot. Get
Wheels.
your wheels. Well, you're going to be on the sidelines or the dugout.
Oh yeah.
What
am I talking about? Yeah.
You'll be in the dugout. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll get a microphone and I'll broadcast live from the dugout of the Boyertown Bears.
I'm telling you, you don't want to be anywhere near a baseball dugout at any time, at any place during a game. Not only because you're walking through mounds of spit and sunflower seeds, but it gets a little too colorful on the dugout to be on air.
No, I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, it's been real, John. It's been fun. We will see you again, whether that is on a lacrosse field or you get to hear us, well, me, on the microphone at the football games with John doing his best to pick out numbers through the binoculars. But we will see you again. It has been real, Reverend.
Jim, great job this season. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine, along with this burger that I'm taking home. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your year.